Okay. Just a moment. Okay. Afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Charlie Warakunpipat from National Electronics and Computer Technology Center. I'm working on information security. I'm head of information security research team at NECTEC, Thailand. I'm very glad to be here to share my experience on information security with all of you. And my topic is information security and usability, or we can say that it is security versus usability. And one of our research is to deal with how to combine security and usability together. And the other our authentication method is comprehensive factor authentication, and let's see how it can work. Okay, right. I'm not sure if all of you have worked on information security before. So before this, I would like to share with you a little bit about the basic knowledge of information security. Many times we talk about cybersecurity. We always think about hacker, right? Hacker, computer virus, ransomware, or something like that. But actually, there are more and more that we need to consider which part of security is the most important in our context. Before this, I would like to start with the first one here, as you can see here, confidentiality. Confidentiality in information system is we have to protect the data from unauthorized person to see it. For example, this information or data is secret or confidential. So we must not share this data with others or share with anyone who don't have permission. All right. So the solution for confidentiality is like login and password, as you can see, right? So it means that our data must not be disclosed to an authorized person. Okay. The basic solution is login and password, and more examples may include like PIN code. Okay, like PIN code in when you are using ATM. Okay, or you might use like public key infrastructure or PKI. Yes, this is confidentiality as well. Or if you use face recognition or use fingerprint, yes, this is also confidentiality because we must use our face or our fingerprint to get an access to the system that I would like to get it to like to use. Okay. The second one, availability. Availability is opposite to confidentiality because availability is if you want to use the system, you must be able to use it anywhere, anytime, as long as you want. Yes, it is opposed to confidentiality that we are not allowed to use the system if we don't have permission. It's different because availability is if we like to use, we must be able to use. The good example is uh, when you would like to go shopping online, like Amazon.com or eBay, you must be able to get an access to the online shopping anywhere, anytime you want. If you want to visit the website, you should be able to use it because the system is never down. Or if it is down because of natural disaster like flood, hurricane, or fire, our system must be switched to the backup system immediately. Here is the definition of availability. So as you can see here, availability and of confidentiality is totally different, but it is in the same umbrella of information security. All right. And the last one is integrity. Integrity is quite simple, and I think many people have awareness of this. For example, computer virus, right? Because computer virus will destroy your data, will damage your data. So the meaning or definition of data integrity is if you upload your data to the system, when you download back, the data must be the same. It must not be modified by unauthorized person. A good example is virus, right? Virus, computer virus, or hacker who hacked, who changed the data inside, or malicious ware like ransomware, because ransomware will make the data, will damage the data, okay, damage the data, right? Yeah, when we talk about ransomware may involve in uh, both in all confidentiality, availability, and integrity. Okay, if I ask you which one is the most important, no, not all three are equally important. It depends on what you want. It depends on uh, what is the most relevant to your business. If you are working for an army or military, of course, confidentiality is the most important because uh, data must be secret or confidential, right? But if you're working on online shopping like eBay, Amazon, availability must be important because we have to care about customer who want to go shopping. You know, if your system is unavailable just 1 minute, you may lose customer because the customer will move to the rival, use the rival company. Okay. Yes, it's the basic of information security before we go on. Right. Talk about security. If I ask you, do you think security is the most important in our system? No, I don't think so. We look at the next slide. It is usability. If you have good security, but your system is very difficult to use, it is impractical. No one uses it. Okay, there is no hacker, but also there is no users as well because users don't like the system. Okay, that's why we have this model. It is called technology acceptance model or TAM model. As you can see here, the system must be usefulness. Okay, you see, we highlight this word perceived usefulness because we believe it is useful. Okay, and the next one, perceived ease of use. Yes, because we believe the system must be easy to use. And this is linked to behavioral intention to use. Yes, it is about human behavior, human preference, and intention. Okay, so IT system should involve both technology and human behavior, human culture, etc. All right, and I highlight this one, another word, perceive because security and usability is based on people perception. Because the one who evaluates that your system is good or bad, it is human, not machine. All right. Okay. Uh, Based on my literature review, I can conclude that the first generation of information security, we can say that security comes first, but functionality and usability are maintained. It means that we have to think about security first by design. Like if you want to uh, develop a software application, you have to start security function in the first step, in the beginning phase. Because if you ignore or overlook security at the first phase, and at the end, it is very difficult to embed security function to all elements in your software. So we should use secure by design in your system. Okay. Yeah, we have security, but usability is also important. So we have to balance. No, I don't want to use the word balance because balance is 50% and 50%. But I may use another word, trade-off. Yeah, trade-off because we have to consider which one is more important. Some system, security is more important, but some system is different. Usability is more important. Yes, something like that. Okay, having too much security level and lacking risk security analysis can inhibit people to use. So if you have too much security and you overlook usability, people will not use it. So I think this slide is good for security person because in the real world, security person and system developer are different people, right? So security, they try to do their best to block everything and to make everything in a secure way. Yes, of course, it is different perception from developer because developer just would like to open everything and make people or end users to use it freely and smoothly, seamlessly, something like that. Okay. Yeah, let's see how to deal with both. Look at this slide. I uh, I adopt these photos from the internet, and you can see here. If you have high security, you have low usability, and vice versa. Okay, and look at on the left hand side. Look at here. We have low security. Okay, we have low security. Yeah, we have low security. So we have high visibility. So which system? Like mobile banking. Okay, because we have to use, yeah, you may disagree because you believe mobile banking is about financial. So security must be high. Yeah, I have no objection. But you use mobile banking every day, maybe more than 10 times per day. So if you have too much security, people are not happy. So that's why security must be lower and usability must be high because people use it every day and many million uses, right? I can give you one more example. Email. The data in email is important and very sensitive, right? But security is, in my opinion, is quite low because it is in internet and it is protected by just login password. It is you don't need to use OTP, you don't need to use fingerprint or any additional devices because you use email every day and maybe more than 10 times a day, right? Look at this one. High security and but low usability. Internal system like core banking. Yeah, it is same banking as mobile banking, but core banking is just internal process. So the number of users are quite small. So yeah, we don't mind about usability because people who use system maybe just a few engineers. Yeah, we don't need to worry much, right? And on the right hand side, it's just a joke that people in the middle, he said that security is more important than usability because he is IT guy. And he said, in the perfect world, no one would be able to use anything. Yeah, because the most secure system is system that no one can use it. Yeah, it's just a joke. Something like to come to look in the password, just look directly at the sun. Yeah, it is impossible, right? Okay. Uh, Before going to my proposed study, my model in competency factor, I want to show you this this basic knowledge about user identification again. Um, User identification, actually there are three methods, three classical methods. It includes something you know. So if you do transaction online, you need to prove yourself. You need to prove your system has to check your identity first. And there are many methods to check identity. And the first one is no. No or something you know. It means that we we need to remember something or memorize something. For example, login a password, right? Because we just remember password, okay? Or PIN code in ATM or credit card, or some challenge questions like, what is your favorite color? What is your favorite subject when you're at school? Yes, something like that. So there are pros and cons. The pros is that very easy to implement, very easy to use, but for disadvantage, it is also easy to be stolen, and this can attract a lot of hackers to hack it. For example, if we disclose by accident our password to up to 100 people, so that 100 people who have my password can get an access to my email or to my system. Yeah, that's it. So that's why we have another one. Something you have, it means that it's just like an object or tangible asset that we can have with us. For example, just like a key, because only the one who have a key can get an access, like access to the server room, okay? Or a staff badge, student badge, because security guard can see your badge. This can show our identity, right? Or it might be mobile phone today, because today we have mobile phone and we can use OTP or one-time password to send to our mobile phone. So don't be confused with the password in something you know, because password in something you know you need to memorize. But password in OTP you don't need to memorize, you need to remember, because it just sent to your mobile and then you can see the password. Okay, so the good thing of something you have is that we just get very difficult to be stolen. Or if there is someone who steal our key, just only one hacker or stealer who can get an access. It is different from something you know. Okay. And the last one is something you are or something the user is. It is just biometric data or anything that is a part of body like face recognition or fingerprint. Yeah, it is very difficult and to steal, and it is very accurate, because you cannot pretend to be someone else because you don't have his or her biometric. Okay. Sometimes people use somewhere you are or location as user identification, but actually it is not. But we just use location to help to support user identification. For example, if I use Facebook every day, every time from Thailand, but in the next hour, 1 hour later, my account logins to Facebook from India or South Korea. It is impossible, because in 1 hour I cannot move from Thailand to India or South Korea. Now, so the one who get access might be hacker, right? Okay. The question is, which one is the best? Which one is the most secure? The good answer is multi-factor authentication. We need to combine no or have or are or no, or use all three. Yes, the good example is ATM, because when you use ATM, you use card and use PIN code or password, right? So yeah, we don't mind if our ATM card is stolen, because the thief doesn't know my password. All right. Yeah, it is just a good thing in multi-factor authentication, right? Multi-factor authentication, yeah, we combine one or more factors to ensure identity. And of course, the thief cannot steal all factor. They cannot steal up to two factors. All right. The good example is ATM or credit card. Credit card, in some countries they use card and PIN code like ATM, but some countries use card and signature. Okay, so signature is another factor. It is biometric because the way to sign is quite unique. If we have specific machine to check, but in the real world, maybe it's not usable, right? Because the seller never check signature, so it will become just one factor. All right. But the problem of multi-factor today is it is impractical because we need to use a lot of machine to check each factor. And it is slow process because we have to check more than one time. It is expensive, yeah, because the readers are expensive. It's not cheap. All right. Yeah, multi-factor is very, very secure, but not usable in the real world. All right. That's why we can propose a mechanism, so-called comprehensive factor authentication. The idea of this authentication is that we can use all possible authentication factors, but we still maintain usability. All right, it means that we can have both security and usability. This can solve the problem in case we have high security, but we have low usability. So why not we try to research how to make both high level together. Now let's see how it can work. To make it working is quite challenge. It's challenging because we have to think about use case, which use case is the very appropriate. Okay, so that's why we come up with the concept of time attendance system. In offices, in many offices, staff members have to come to office in the early morning and check in to check if you are late or not, and in the evening they have to check out, all right, to check time. So traditional method, people just use signature and paper. And now more advanced, we use a magnetic card, use barcode, QR code from the badge, or use fingerprint, face recognition, right? Or use RFID card, something like that. Our system, we use all factor. We use password, mobile phone, face recognition. Yeah, it is something something you have, and something you are. And also we use location as well. The problem will be, you may ask that, how we can employ all four factors? It is usable, it is fast or slow. Yeah, let's see. In here, we we check everything. We check username password from organizations LDAP or Active Directory, from personnel database. Okay, we use IMEI. IMEI, it is unique hardware ID at mobile phone. It's like a MAC address in mobile phone. We register face and also detect location. Yeah, it is in detail. In this system, we don't try to claim accuracy in each factor because we try to design in overall architecture, but we don't research in each factor because to detect each factor, the solution is available. Free solution is available across throughout the internet, like face recognition. It is very, very, very simple just to check face, and we might use OpenCV, use the lip, or just basic knowledge on mobile machine learning or deep learning. So when we test, we find that the accuracy is maybe up to 100%, but except some situation like identical twin, because the twins are quite the same. So we have to use outer factors instead. For speed, from our test, one person can complete all process within 1 to 3 seconds. It depends on end users or machine. Okay, this is just a screenshot. We use mobile phone or mobile phone based application, so people can bring mobile phone to check in or check out at office. So this solution can save the cost because organization or company they don't need to pay for the machine or the reader. Okay. Okay, now it is the detail why the system can work very well in terms of security and usability. The first, uh, staff member have to register. They have to register password, mobile device, or IMEI facial data allocation and location. Just register to the system. Password, actually, they don't need to register password manually because they just use they just retrieve data from LDAP or Active Directory, so they don't need to input password manually. Okay. Second is mobile device. They don't need to input IMEI or MAC address manually because system can retrieve this data automatically, right? The next, facial data. Yes, they have to scan their facial data manually. And the last one is location. Location, staff, they don't need to register anything because the location data must be preset in advance by developer. They have to input location at the office just to check it if you are in this location or not, right? So it is registration process. So if you are registered already, during authentication process, like I just arrived office in the morning, like at 7, 7:30, okay, 7:30. When I click application, I open application, system will check location first, check from GPS or Wi-Fi location, Wi-Fi locator to check if you are in the office area or not, right? If not, you will be reject, you will be denied to use it. Okay, for example, you are at home or you use internet at home. Yeah, system knows you are reject, right? So once you can pass location, like you are in the office, system can check password. Okay, but you don't need to input password because uh, if you have already passed the password process before, because it's like single sign-on. If you use auto system, and once you use our system, maybe you don't need to input password several times. Like you use Facebook this time, tomorrow you use Facebook application again, you need to input password, right? And second, mobile device, they don't need to check email again. Yeah, they also check, but people don't need to know. So the process, these two processes, it is in invisible process. The process operates behind at the background. People don't need to aware with it. So if we just click it, it seems that people just like they are directed to face recognition immediately, but actually they already check location, pass, and mobile device. So the user just scan their face, and that's it. If system can verify it is a legitimate user, your user will be indicated. It means check-in is successful, right? So when we talk about the time is quite short because invisible process will be done just 1 or 2 minutes and also done in background and people are not aware of this. So it just take the time when people use camera to scan and system can just use 1 or 2 seconds. All right. Yes, it is overall process. Uh, Actually, in registration and authentication process, there are many use cases like service registration, update information, like I want to change the name, or I just want to update my facial data. For example, if we use system this up to more than 5 years and our face might change a little bit, so we are eligible to change. And also we delete and just upload again. And also the service to record the time. All right. And yeah, we have database as well. Yes, it is the process of something you know. Something you know is like LDAP, user key and password. Okay, so I can explain you briefly, just simple system development. Just check the data, personal data from LDAP server, and check if it is the right user or not. Okay, yeah, it is the same. It is more simple. Okay. Uh, User input wrong password, they will be rejected. Something you have is a little bit complicated because system will, before this, as I mentioned you before during the registration process, Amy, okay, just username Amy, and she used uh, MAC address, like for example, MAC A, okay, so MAC A, uh, register using her mobile Mac A, something like this, and Bob is Mac C. Yeah, we already registered. So uh, Amy must be linked to Mac A. Bob must be linked to Mac C. Okay. So if one day Mac C, Mac C, right, or Amy, okay, just change the word. Max Amy. Amy use older mobile phone and the new mobile phone is Maxi. So when Amy tried to get access to the system, the user of Maxi will be denied because system say, "Oh, you are Amy. Amy must use Mac A." So I system may believe Amy may try to check in on behalf her friend, something like that. So in this case, this is the benefit of as the system check mobile devices or something you have. Yes, it's the second factor. The next one is something you are. System just check face recognition or face verification. Actually, not explain you in detail because it is about machine learning or AI, and we just use free library from the internet. Okay. Actually, in this case, I might be wrong because I said face recognition, but actually it is just face verification. It is just one to one, not one to many. What does it mean one to one? It means that, okay, let me go back to this slide. In this case, the system already know who is trying to check in, right? Because they know password, they know uh, mobile device. So system already know user A try to use it. So when user A scan face, you just want to check the user is user A or not. So the answer is just yes or no. It is one to one. It is not one to many. One to many means we scan and system just answer who you are, right? But our system just check this is user A or not. So the answer is just say yes or no. Yeah, it's much easier than face recognition that check one to many. Okay, yes, so that's why the accuracy is up to 100%, except the case of identical twin, because twin has everything the same. Okay, everything is the same. Face recognition cannot differentiate. Okay. Also for location is quite simple. We just use GPS and Wi-Fi locator. Or actually you can use more and more like Bluetooth, beacon, and etc. But if you use beacon or RFID Bluetooth, I think it is costly because we need to install more hardware in the building. But we try to keep the cost low. That's why we just use GPS and Wi-Fi locator, right? Because all organization must have Wi-Fi location, must have Wi-Fi router. Okay. Actually, we developed this system 5 years ago. But 5 years ago it is very expensive for GPS and it consume energy. Okay, but now we have no issue about GPS, so we just use GPS. Yeah, the result it is 100%, almost everything. But what we try to share with you is that it is easy. It's very easy to use, and the process is very fast. Okay, it's very fast, and try to work is very difficult because we use use up to four-factor authentication. Okay. Yes, when we compare with our older systems, we can find that only our system we use up to four factors, and security, of course, must be high relatively. Accuracy also high because we use up to four factors. And now we look at usability. Action required. You see, we use four factor, but it doesn't mean we have to action to four times. We just use one time, like when we scan face. Okay, because the other three need to take any action because it run background. Yeah, for speed, it just 1 or 2 seconds. We just use to scan face. Okay. Yeah, it is just example. It is mobile phone based, but in some situation, we uh, we may use like kiosk, something like that. Yeah, this is very flexible. Okay, for conclusion. Even I explained you a lot about detail, but actually I just want to show you that uh, we try have to trade off between security and usability. It doesn't mean our system could be fully in auto system, but we need to try to consider which factor is more important. Okay, and okay, yes, that's it. We show you that the level of security or the number of factor, the level of usability, or number of action required, and speed in the same setting can be different. So if you use our system in other sectors, other contexts, maybe we have to change a little bit. Yeah, but it is just our pilot project and try to introduce you that to make security and usability high together, it is possible. And yeah, we can further the research. Thank you very much. Thank you. If you have any question, maybe later you can write in the chat box, or you can leave the question to the organize to the share as well. If not today, I'm free to. Yeah, thank you, thank you very much.